All right, folks, let's talk for a few minutes about multiplication and division with scientific notation. All right, how do we do that? How do you do that with these two? Well, let's just take some numbers, okay? Let's say I take 4.1 times 10 to the fourth power times 2.0 times 10 to the third power. Doesn't really matter about that. How do we do this? Well, it's actually pretty simple as well. You're going to take these two numbers and you're going to multiply them. Okay? So when you multiply those, you should get 8.2, right? 4.1 times 4.1 times 2.0. Now, what do you do with the rest of it? Well, see these two numbers here? When we multiply with scientific notation, we add those exponents together. Okay? 10 to the fourth and 10 to the third should give us 10 to the seventh. Now, what does that mean? Well, let's just take this number. 4.1 times 10 to the fourth. What is that actual number? Well, isn't it 41,000? Times 2.0 times 10 to the third. Well, isn't that 2,000? So what's 41,000 times 2,000? Well, make sure I count all the right ones. That's 82 million, isn't it? Well, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 8.2 times 10 to the 7th. So it's actually real simple. You take those two numbers and multiply them. Then, whatever number you get there, and then you add those two numbers up to get your exponent. Because that's literally what we're doing. Now again, if this changes, right, and it's not between, if it's greater than 10 or less than 1, then you got to play with this number. But that's for a little bit later. Okay? Now, what do we do about division? Okay? Well, let's do this one. Let's go 9.99 times 10 to the fourth. Okay? And we're going to divide it by 3.33 times 10 to the second. Okay? Well, we're going to take these two numbers and we're going to divide. So 9.99 divided by 3.33 is obviously 3.00 times 10 to the what? Well, we take these two numbers and we subtract them. Okay? So what's 4 minus 2? Well, obviously that is 2. Okay? So just to make sure, if we got 9.99 times 10 to the fourth, that's 99,900, right? And if we divide that by 3.33 times 10 to the second, that's 333. Well, 99,900 divided by 333 should give us 300. Well, 300 is 3 times 10 to the second, isn't it? So again, pretty straightforward, isn't it? The only thing you have to worry about, though, is if you have negatives versus positives, right? That's where it's going to kind of mess you up a little bit. So you have to kind of be careful with that. But remember, if I have two negatives, right? Well, a negative plus a negative is still a negative, right? But a negative minus a negative is a positive. So you have to kind of be careful with that, don't you? And we'll talk a little, obviously, more about that later Monday, right? Because we're going to hit this hard and heavy on Monday, all right? Because you know, or, well, for my 5th period, it'll be Tuesday because they have their test on Monday. But we're going to hit that hard and heavy, and then once we get that, this won't take very long, and probably by Wednesday, Thursday, will be your exam on this stuff, right? Because this is just straight math stuff. Okay? That's why I've told you all this past week, if you're having any questions, something doesn't make sense, you need to contact me in any way, shape, or form. Get a hold of me. Ask me, how am I doing? Is this all right? Is this E? What's going on? What's wrong here? Why can't I figure this out? Okay? You know, just because we've been off for a week as far as not in school doesn't mean we're not learning. So if you haven't been watching these videos, you better go out and start watching the rest of these videos, looking over them again and again and again. Okay? They're not long, so please take your time and look at this stuff. If you have any questions, you know where I'm at. Just contact me through email or whatever you got to do. We'll figure it out, okay? All right, so if you have any questions, don't forget to ask. But this is pretty straightforward stuff, and we'll show you some stuff, and I'm going to send you an email a little bit later with a copy thing, some examples, so you can figure out how to do it again, even more so, okay? Some practice. All right.